Tonight I'm going to demonstrate how I center a 12.5-pound chunk of clay using this type of arm dead rest. The way that the arm dead rest works is if you imagine that this is your vertical arm bone and this is your lower arm bone, what I do is I have this as a fulcrum that allows me to move my arm in and out in this fashion without any muscular effort, just by the weight of my body. It's about a 3-to-1 mechanical advantage, which allows you to exert huge amounts of force with no effort at all. And that's why I recommend it. So I'll show you what I mean. I'll speed this up to full speed. So let's start at the top of a large mass. You can center it in small sections. You center the upper, and you center a small piece here, and you center a small piece here. I'm going to cone this because I don't want to have the piece be uneven. It's just been a square pug. So I'll move it up into a tall cone. And I'm going to move it down and down just the way you normally would. Let's see how easy it is to be still. There's no muscular effort at all because I'm before top dead center. The clay would have to break my arm bone in order to move it. It's absolutely rock steady. So I'm making 10-inch lids today. And I don't have to center the lower part. It's running smoothly enough that what I can do, I'll knock a little core section out of here to get rid of the irregularity that's still there. Then I'm going to drive a bite that's big enough to make a 10-inch lid. And I've done enough of this that I have a good idea of how much to use. I'll drop speed a little bit. And right away I'm going to set the knob as part of this design. So here's the knob being made right here now. So there's the knob right there. Now I'm going to begin pulling this, and I'm saving the slip on my hand so I can pull this up. I'm going to also show you that I have right here a laser dot again that shows me the diameter I'm shooting for. So now I'm braced right here. It's easy to see. I can come up at about a 45-degree angle. And I'm just going to pull the lid at a 45 and put my hand here, and I'm within 1.5 inches. So I know I can get a little bit more before I start laying it down. So here's the lid, almost done. And I leave the lip a little bit thick. And now right away, check it. Okay, I've got 1 inch to go. If I need more clay, I can just steal a little here in the bottom. So I'll add some more clay right here where the knob is to add this and make it stretch a little closer. And now let's see how close I am. Yeah, that looks good. So now I'm going to use the classic technique of removing all of the water and throwing dry with 2 thin metal ribs. This is a very popular technique with people who throw very, very thin. I like it because it gives me all the throwing time I need. So I'm going to slow the wheel so I don't have any extra speed that can cause it to wobble. And I'll start right here. And this already matches the curve pretty well, so I'm going to place my eyes on either side and just gently remove the water. This, by drying it out, gives me all the working time I want to finish shaping. And I'm saving all of this because it's perfectly clean clay. I'm not going to worry about getting it too perfect at first. Instead, I'm just removing the water so I have the working time I need, and gradually stretching and widening it. Because both hands are braced really well, you can see here's the laser dot. I'm almost there. And if it's a little bit dry here and is chattering a little bit, I'll just put a few drops in there to slick it while I do the last laydown. Here's the last laydown now. So here we go. I'm getting close. That should be right next to the dot. See it touching the dot? Okay, so I'm going to slow the wheel further. And it's at this stage that I'm going to do the refinement of the shape. So I'll come back in here. And I think I've got a bowl rib. Yeah, I like this bowl rib. I'll set the bowl rib in here, and I'm just going to sculpt this little curve from the bowl here slightly outward to make the curve nice and smooth. saving everything again, and get this internal curve really, really nice. Now when I've got it nice like that there, then I'm going to create a little bit more curvature through this section. So I'm going to be pressing down and lofting this upward a little at a time, drawing it upward like that to get this to curve to there. And now the lid is the shape I want. So I have my gauge block, and this is the gauge block that I'll demo in another time and when I make the big casseroles that this fits. And you set the gauge block on here. This is how the actual laser dot was developed in the first place, is from the gallery setting from this particular gauge. So now I always make my lids 1/8 of an inch bigger than the gallery, because what I want to do is wait until they have dried, until they're done shrinking, and then I dry trim them to match the dry casserole so that the two fit precisely. You don't have any of this slop or irregularity or any of that. Now if you look at the finish on that, that's very true and smooth, but the garbage bag will complete this. So I'm going to come around here and carefully smooth and round this. Now the lip of this is perfectly round again. And I'm going to use my cutoff stick, and the way that the cutoff stick works, as I've illustrated, is you get the water onto here, it can't run off until you tip it. So I'm going to take this and slide it in under here, and after I get the cut started, I lean it down a little bit and the water flows onto the cut, and I lift the casserole lid up, and I'm done.